we started to look at one of the very great imams in Islamic thought, and that's the Imam of madhab al-Hanafi. We looked at Imam Abu Hanifa, and if we remember, his name is An-Nu'man ibn Thabit. An-Nu'man ibn Thabit. And we explained how his madhab is formed, and we explained the main features of his madhab. And the main students of Imam Abu Hanifa that we mentioned is Imam Zufar, and we say regarding Imam Abu Hanifa that Imam refused to become judge. Imam refused to become qadi, and because of that he was tortured. He has to undergo some mihan, and because of refusing. Because the problem with many of the rulers at the beginning, they thought that if you refuse that kind of job, that means you're opposing the leadership. So they regard you as opposition. And it's been very hard for the Muslim Ummah to understand opposition. From the political point of view, if you read the history, throughout the history, Muslims don't want to understand this fiqh of opposition, fiqh al-mu'arada, how someone can oppose you and still you can live and work with them. I mean, we don't understand this, and that has been the problem for so long. So you could see, I mean, Abu Hanifa, he didn't say that he opposed, but that's what they took from him, because he refused to be qadi. Then they took that he is opposing. But on the other hand, there is so many hadith of the Prophet ﷺ in which he discourages people from taking these positions. For example, a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, "Man wali al-qada faqad dhubiha bighayri sikkin." Man wali al-qada faqad dhubiha bighayri sikkin. Anyone who takes the position of being judge is being slaughtered without a knife. Been slaughtered without a knife. I mean, that's to show that this is very, very difficult job to take. قاضيان في النار وقاض في الجنة. Another hadith, and so many other hadith from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, Imam Zufar, the student, one of the main students of Abu Hanifa, also refused. He didn't take the job of qadi, whereby another student, that is Imam Abu Yusuf, he took the job. He took the job, and he is famously known. He was the chief judge of the Muslim state, the Qadi al-Qudat. The first person to be Qadi al-Qudat in the Muslim society, the Muslim Ummah, was Imam Abu Yusuf, and he is famously known as Abu Yusuf al-Qadi. And also another Imam, Imam Muhammad ibn al-Hasan al-Shaybani, also took the job of being Qadi. When they were offered this job, they took them. They took these jobs. So that's Abu Hanifa, and we also mentioned that the people who follow Hanafi madhab, famous commonly, I mean, in the world today, are available, found mostly in India, and India, that means India, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, and also in Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Turkey, Guyana, Trinidad, in the Americas, Guyana, Trinidad, Suriname, and to some extent in Egypt. There are Hanafis also in Egypt. Egyptian phenomena is very strange. There is every madhab in Egypt. There is every madhab in Egypt, and they are equally presented, and we will explain this later on, why Egyptian phenomena is different from other countries, where in one country you got predominantly one madhab, in another country like Egypt you got all madhabs there. It's because, in short, it is because Egypt was the center of Islamic civilization for very long. I mean, after the collapse, after the fall of Baghdad, everything moved to Egypt. Everything moved to Egypt and stayed at the center of Islamic civilization for 1,000 years, for more than 1,000 years. You have Azhar running for more than 1,000 years, and all imams, everybody's going there. So it was the center. So you get the ruler appointing 4 judges all working together. So the Qadi of Hanafi, Qadi of Shafi'i, Qadi of Hanbali, and Qadi of Maliki. They were all working in Egypt, and that's what made these madahib become stronger. Whereby in other countries, if a Muslim ruler just send one Qadi, and then that Qadi's madhab become the madhab of the state. And I'll tell you, one madhab that was there but disappeared, didn't continue, is madhab of Imam al-Awza'i. Imam al-Awza'i, Abdurrahman ibn al-Awza'i, who was born in Ba'labak in the year 708 of the Common Era. He was the very great scholar in Syria, very, very great scholar, and he had students, and he had followers, and these followers were known as, the madhab al-Awza'iyya, al-Awza'iyya. But the madhab remained in Syria, in Sham, for very long until the 10th century, when Abu Zar'a Muhammad ibn Uthman al-Shafi'i was appointed as Qadi Dimashq. So he was appointed, Abu Zar'a was appointed Qadi Dimashq, and he was Shafi'i, and he was himself Shafi'i. So you got the people in Syria following the madhab of Imam al-Awza'i. Then the judge was appointed who was of Shafi'i madhab. Now the judge came, and when he came, Abu Zar'a, he started to promote his madhab, and he started actively promoting his madhab. Actually, if you memorize Mukhtasar al-Muzani, Imam Shafi'i main student, among the main student is al-Muzani. Now, Muzani wrote this summary of the fiqh of Shafi'i. So if you memorize Mukhtasar al-Muzani, you will get 100 dinar for memorizing Mukhtasar al-Muzani. So because of that, students of knowledge, now we go, there is reward coming there. And then slowly, that made what the madhab of al-Awza'i die, and because it didn't spread outside of Syria, then it didn't have many supporters, and the madhab died slowly until there remained only the madhab of Shafi. But then there was another issue, because you have people going to Iraq to study the madhab of Hanbali in Iraq, coming back to Syria, and these are the ones that brought, like going to study, and Abdul Qadir Jailani and other these big heads of big leaders of the madhab al-Hanbali, and then people like Ibn Qudama, Muwaffaq al-Din Ibn Qudama al-Maqdisi, going to study the madhab of, these are the Maqdisiyin, the people of Sham. Maqdisi means people come from Bayt al-Maqdis, from this area. Now, Ibn Qudam al-Maqdisi and others, grandfather of Ibn Taymiyyah and others, going to study madhab of Hanbali from Iraq, and that's why the madhab of Hanbali moved from Iraq and came to Syria. And at that time, the madhab of Shafi'i disappeared in Syria, and the madhab of, because the Qadi now was Hanabila, and then the madhab of Hanbali grew up in Syria, and then from Syria it moved to Najd, to Saudi, and now it's mainly in Saudi, very few in Palestine, the madhab of Hanbali. This is the story. But talking of madhab al-Awza'i, it died because of the effort of madhab of Abu Zar'a, of the madhab of Shafi'i. Now, having said that, let's go to our main talk of today, and that is the madhab of Imam Malik. The madhab of Imam Malik. The scholar who founded the madhab of Imam Malik, his name is Malik ibn Anas ibn Amir. Malik ibn Anas ibn Amir. He was born in Medina. He was born in Medina in the year 717 of the Common Era. His grandfather, Amir, was one of the Sahaba. His grandfather was one of the Sahaba of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Malik, from very young, studied hadith, I mean, he learned so many knowledge because the first thing is his mom took him to Rabi'a, Rabi'at al-Ra'i, Rabi'a ibn Abd al-Rahman, took to him to learn, and he said to him, go and learn from adab of Rabi'a, from the manners of Rabi'a before you learn his knowledge. So go and learn manners from Rabi'a before you learn anything. And we could see in the issue of character and manners in terms of Imam Malik being excellent in everything in terms of his manners and his characters. But also he learned hadith from Imam Az-Zuhri. Imam Az-Zuhri was the greatest muhaddith of his time. He is regarded that he is the first person to systematically collect hadith. Because before that, people were telling hadith to each other. So you go to the majlis, a sahabi or a tabi will teach people what Prophet ﷺ said. Under the auspices, under the orders of Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, Khalifa Umar ibn Abdul Aziz of Banu Umayyah, Khalifa Umar ibn Abdul Aziz told Imam al-Zuhri to go around and collect hadith and put them in writing so that they don't disappear. Because you know, this idea of everybody just telling without having it systematically written down could lead to it to disappear or to lose the authenticity. So Imam Malik studied hadith under Az-Zuhri, his main teacher, Imam Az-Zuhri. He also studied hadith and learned from Nafi'. Now, Nafi' was a freed slave of Abdullah ibn Umar. Now, Abdullah ibn Umar ibn al-Khattab is a Sahabi. You got a Sahabi, Abdullah ibn Umar ibn al-Khattab, okay? His freed slave, that means the person that they mate exactly. His freed slave is Nafi'. Now, Imam Malik had this chance to meet Nafi' and to learn from him some hadith. And you could see the hadith that Malik reports from Nafi' and Nafi' reports from Ibn Umar is the most authentic you can get. You cannot get something closer to the Prophet ﷺ than that kind of isnad. They say the golden isnad is where Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal reports from Imam Shafi'i, and Imam Shafi'i reports from Imam Malik, and Imam Malik reports from Nafi', and Nafi' reports from Abdullah ibn Umar, from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi. If you have that isnad in the hadith, then that's it. You don't have to worry anything, because these are jibal, these are mountains in terms of knowledge and in terms of understanding the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And also, as we say, Malik studied under Nafi', who was a freed slave of Abdullah ibn Umar, Imam Malik didn't travel to collect hadith like other scholars had to travel from here to there. He was in Medina. And the only journeys he made were during the Hajj. So during the Hajj, he would go and meet scholars and take hadith from them, and then come back to Medina. So we say Imam Malik was born in 717 of the Common Era, the Christian era. In the year 764, Imam Malik was beaten severely because by the order of the Amir of Medina. The Amir of Medina, the governor of Medina, ordered that Imam Malik should be punished. Why? Because he issued a fatwa. He issued a legal ruling on the mas'ala of talaq al-mukrah, very famous mas'ala. The rulers of Abbasiyya, Dawla Abbasiyya at that time were, the mas'ala is this. Let me tell the mas'ala. Is someone who is divorced, who is forced to divorce, is the divorce valid or not valid? If you're forced to divorce, is the divorce valid or not valid? The state organ, the rulers, say that the divorce is valid because Prophet ﷺ said, ثَلَاثٌ جِدُّهُنَّ جِدٌّ وَهَزْلُهُنَّ جِدٌّ. free things, no joke. Okay? Freeing a slave, a nikah, and talaq. There's no, you cannot, I mean, whatever, even if you joke that if a father jokes and saying, I'm marrying you, my daughter, and if the daughter accepts, that's it. The nikah is done. Okay? If you joke with your slave and say to your slave, you're free, they are free. So, jidduhunna jiddun wa hazluhunna jidd. So that was the state, and it helped them from the political point of view that if a mu'amala, you are forced into it, and there is no joke in that kind of mu'amala, then the mu'amala will be valid. Imam Malik, when he was asked this mas'ala, he said, no, talaqul mukrahi la yajuz. If you're forced to divorce, then the divorce is not valid. Because, I mean, a person, in the Quran it says, إِلَّا مَنْ أُكْرِهَ وَقَلْبُهُ مُطْمَئِنٌ بِالْإِيمَانِ. A person could mention kalimat al-kufr and he doesn't mean it and he's still Muslim. I mean, that is very clear and that is acceptable in Islam. So if you under the gun and someone tells you to insult Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to save your life, you allowed by the Sharia to insult Prophet. You don't mean it in your heart to insult and go with your life and go with your life. So, Iqra, in terms of talaq, Imam Malik says, la yajuz. And because of that, the state was not happy with him. The state was not happy with him. Because, you know, in terms of bay'ah, let's come back in terms of bay'ah. A ruler is on the power now. Someone is in power and says to you, you have to give me bay'ah. You don't give him, but they force you to give them bay'ah. If you give them bay'ah by force, is that bay'ah accepted or not? Based on the fatwa of Imam Malik, that bay'ah is not valid. So this mas'ala, you could look at it like fiqh mas'ala, but it has some political implications to it. And that's why they tortured Imam Malik alayhi rahmatullah. He continued to teach hadith in Medina. I mean, he says, I didn't start to teach until I had about 70 scholars of Medina saying, now you can sit down and you can teach. So he was great muhaddith, and he taught in Medina in the mosque of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam for about 40 years in that in Rawdah. He had his chair there, sitting there and teaching people. Imam Malik alayhi rahmatullah. Many students came to him. Many students from every corner of the world came to Imam Malik, including Imam Shafi'i, including young Shafi'i. When he was 10 years old, his family took him to Malik to learn hadith. I mean, he is authority in terms of hadith. His book, Muwatta, some scholars in the Maghrib, some scholars in the Al-Maghrib al-Islami in Morocco, in Andalus, they regarded that Muwatta is much better than Sahih Bukhari. They regard, so it's closer to the Prophet ﷺ than Sahih Bukhari. And there is no hadith da'if in Muwatta. The only problem with the Muwatta is it's got the words of the Sahaba, whereby Sahih Bukhari is only pure hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi. But even if we take only the hadith, then they're all authentic. Even the hadith in which Malik doesn't give isnad, so they call them balaghat. He said, balaghana. It came to us that Prophet ﷺ said this and this. Even if you take those hadith in which Malik doesn't mention isnad, still those, if analyzed, they're all authentic. They're all authentic. They've been mentioned somewhere else where Imam Malik could have taken them, but he didn't just mention them he didn't mention the isnad in his book. But anyway, that's not our lesson for today. What we want to say is Imam Malik, he made his book Al-Muwatta. Al-Muwatta means the beaten path, the beaten path, and this contains the hadith and the athar of the Sahaba. And the state, the ruler of the Dawla al-Abbasiyya asked Malik to make his book the official book of fatwa in the state. Still Malik refused. Still Malik refused. And I remember we were discussing this with some scholars, and they say there is political implication to this. What the ulama did is to deny the rulers the right to make law. The right to make law stayed with the scholars. If Malik accepted, do you understand? If Malik accepted that Muwatta become the official book, then Malik would have lost the right to comment, because later on the rule, now maybe they will listen to Malik. Later on they already got the book, they can decide to do anything with it, say this is what Malik said. So the rulers have the chance to do what? To legislate, which is the feature of Islamic law. Is the Sharia is rulers have no, they are not given that chance. That is in the hands of the scholars.